Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now out in theaters and getting closer to $1 billion at the box office worldwide speaking, and a lot of fans are very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise and exactly where things will go after Episode 9 by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie had a lot of problems during production. A lot of changes and adjustments were made by Disney, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, JJ, and even Chris Terrio. And a lot of scenes that George Lucas even worked on were deleted from the movie, which really was a very unfortunate thing. Something that I feel was a big loss for this movie because over 60% of George's scenes were ultimately deleted for The Rise of Skywalker. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that this movie had so much potential. Now, like I say, I've gone over this before in my spoilers review. I really do enjoy the movie. I think it's a decent movie with a lot of flaws. Yes, it does have flaws in there, and it feels rushed and convoluted at times. But I do believe it's better than that of The Last Jedi, and there's a lot of scenes that I love and hate in this movie. Now, with that being said, everything related to George Lucas, you guys may very well be aware that he was indeed involved in the production of The Rise of Skywalker. He advised many scenes. He wrote some of the scenes for The Rise of Skywalker, even directed some segments for this movie that were ultimately deleted, which is very sad. Now, on top of all of this, what's really interesting is that Disney and Lucasfilm went through many changes and adjustments of the film during the months of August, September, and October when developing the film with J.J. Abrams in order to change the overall tone of the movie and to reduce the running time of Episode 9. It's explained that this led to a series of deleted scenes in the process and that many of the scenes that were directed by George Lucas were deleted. Around 60% of George's scenes were deleted from The Rise of Skywalker. One of the major scenes was actually said to have been the very ending of the film, where the final frames of the movie, where his version of the ending was deleted, which involved a large Jedi temple under construction on the world of Tatooine, just near the Lars homestead where Ben Solo's Force Ghost, along with the rest of the Skywalkers, will be watching over her as she ignites a double-bladed lightsaber, color both green and blue on each end, where Rey took the kyber crystals from Luke's green lightsaber and Anakin's lightsaber, and used those crystals to develop a double-bladed blade as she actually looked at the binary sunset in the distance. Ben Solo's Force Ghost in George's version was also a big part of the ending that got deleted, as well as Anakin, where it said that George Lucas was annoyed and frustrated with the decision by Disney and Lucasfilm to alter the ending of Episode 9 and is said to have played a major role into why George Lucas was absent from the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker. Though it's unclear if George was even invited in the first place to the event by Disney, it's explained that George was frustrated on set that his version was ultimately changed and deleted. Now, the thing about this, I don't know if you guys realized that at the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker, George was not there. And it was really a big story because a lot of fans were very confused as to why George was not there. There was no real explanation as to why George was not at the premiere for this movie that marks the very end of the Skywalker saga and everything related to the Skywalkers. And the fact that, Disney and Lucasfilm went through all these changes, and especially a lot of the George Lucas-oriented scenes that he deleted, or should I say that he directed that were deleted, was something big, and it was something of a great loss for George Lucas, I believe at least. You guys may have heard the story by Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, how he said that George felt very much betrayed with how The Force Awakens was used, how they disregarded a lot of his ideas for The Force Awakens, and it seems like that they did him twice here. They did the same exact thing now for The Rise of Skywalker, where he had this vision for the ending of the movie of having a Jedi temple on Tatooine, showing us the new Jedi Order, and even showing us the Force Ghosts of Ben Solo, Anakin, Luke, and Leia, all the Skywalkers watching over Rey. And even a different type of lightsaber blade, a double-bladed green and blue lightsaber. It may seem a little crazy to some people out there and a little too prequel-ish, but I kind of like that. I still like the yellow-bladed lightsaber that JJ gave us and how it's modeled after her staff, but I think the fact that George wanted to have a double-bladed one would have been more accurate to how Rey is very much used to her staff and would have made more sense in a way. So the fact that he was frustrated and just annoyed about this decision by Disney and Lucasfilm, I think it once again shows the incompetence of Kathleen Kennedy as head of Lucasfilm, as the president of all things Star Wars, and why she needs to be replaced as president as soon as possible, really. Because we do know that her contract is up in 2021. It's unclear as to whether or not she's going to continue as president, or if she's going to decide to retire at that point in time. Honestly, for Kathleen Kennedy, I believe it's time for her to retire. I think it's time for somebody else to take over the role as president of Lucasfilm, whether that be Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni or whatever have you. Anybody that is a true Star Wars fan and a Star Wars fan at heart and truly understands the ins and outs of this franchise. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.